It is beyond a reasonable doubt they will kill me. It is beyond a reasonable doubt they will kill us. It is beyond a reasonable doubt they will kill them. They have killed us over assumptions. They have killed us over bottled water. They have killed us over music. They have killed us while we slept in our own homes. They have killed us when we have let them know we are wearing a weapon. They have killed us while playing at a park. They have proven beyond a reasonable doubt they will kill us. They have proven beyond a reasonable doubt they will kill me. They have proven beyond a reasonable doubt they will kill him. They will kill her. They will kill them. I read something this morning that said, the question is whether a reasonable person will believe in the same situation, they will kill us. That is the mode we live in all day, every day, for centuries. They have done it. They will do it. No matter what we do, no matter how far we come, they will do it because they've proven it beyond a reasonable doubt. You don't have to be black to know beyond a reasonable doubt, because the history has already proven itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over, etc. Beyond a reasonable doubt, we fear for our lives in every single moment. Why does something need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt that's already been proven in black and white, in color, in every font, in every age, in every decade? It's already been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. I am Keisha. The channel name is Court with Keisha.
What up, E-Mob? This your boy Gerald with the NCB reporting from Collin County, Texas for the Karmelo Anthony murder trial. This is the judge who's presiding over the Karmelo Anthony trial, Republican judge, Judge John Roach Jr. Now, according to Judge Roach's order that he sent out to everybody, he said the court would start at 9 a.m. Well, this morning, he comes showing up to the courthouse. Well, I ain't gonna say what time he showed up to the courthouse, but he came popping up on camera at 12 something after we had been sitting freezing in the courtroom for 3 hours. And it's not like he cares, but when the judge took the bench, kind of like he sensed that the potential jurors was not fucking with him. Guess earlier, he was asking questions. He told the jurors, y'all was loud then, but they was terrible now. And he didn't know if it was because he had them in there waiting all morning long. He said, I have bad news and I have good news. And he told them that the bad news is that they gonna have to listen to what he got to say. Now, if you don't know, Karmelo Anthony was 17 years old in this photo. He is now 19 years old and he is on trial for allegedly killing this young man right here, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, by stabbing Metcalf in the chest. It happened April 2nd of last year at a track meet when Karmelo Anthony was sitting on the Metcalf's team's tent. According to the police report, Metcalf told Karmelo that he needed to leave the tent because he didn't go to their school. Words were exchanged and Metcalf put his hands on Karmelo, and Karmelo allegedly stabbed Metcalf, citing self-defense. Basically, today, the judge kind of ran jury selections, basically just going over the rules, basically telling them can't read any news articles about it, listen to any radio stations about it, watch any TV stations about it, follow any blogs about it, can't talk about it with their family, friends, husband, wife, basically, hush, shut up and don't say nothing. He also talked about how jurors must not be biased or prejudice to either side. Judge Roach told the potential jurors that their decision must be based off the evidence in the courts. You have to be at the courthouse, and the jurors have to make their determination based off what is presented in the court of law. And he said that if you violate that, he will throw you in jail for 6 months and impose a $500 fine on you. The remaining potential jurors had to fill out a juror questionnaire. Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, there will be no court for the public. The attorneys will go through the questionnaires, strike who they don't want, keep who they want to keep. And on Wednesday, that's when court will be back in session. Judge Roach also said that the trial is expected to last until June 12th, approximately 2 weeks. And he said that there will be Saturday court. The hours will be from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Judge Roach also said that he will talk to the lawyers for both sides about sequestering the jury. He did say that he would have a conversation with the attorneys because one of the potential jurors brought it up. Y'all already know I'll keep you guys updated on this trial. And if you want to donate to support the live trial coverage, you can cash out me at It's GDJ the CEO or Zelle me at my email right there. And y'all, I'm going to start going live on Thursday, okay? I ain't going to waste no time for jury selection, all right? Day one, it's a wrap.
April 2nd, 2025 is a day that changed the lives of two different families. And when I originally said that, when this originally happened, people acted like it was only one family. It's always been two families. Two families had their lives changed, as neither one of them had the plan that they had in place go as planned. I am Keisha. Trial for Karmelo Anthony starts today, and it is a trial that has riled up a lot of racial emotions in people, and it really should not be that way, but it is that way, so we just gonna call a spade, okay? It is that way. Now, I do believe that the jury selection process has not started, so it will start first. The judge on this case has put a gag order in place, and baby, he is serious about it. Everything has been tight-lipped, okay? So it's not a lot that we really are going to know beforehand, and what we are anticipating that we will be receiving from the people that will be allowed to be in the courtroom is given real iffy at this point, okay? What details they are going to be able to bring out and let us know, I am not sure. So we are unfortunately going to have to play it by ear. But I do anticipate it's going to be a lot of, well, this is how I saw it, and this is how I saw it, and this is how I saw it. And none of it will align probably with what the jury will say they saw. So we'll let that be what it is. Now, normally I would have this trial on my other channel, but because it is going to be a nothing but racist filled trial, as it already has, I decided that it would be best to stay on this platform to cover this trial so that I can go ahead and block the racism that will find me unnecessarily. Yeah. It be like that. I'm real transparent. I do not have time to play with people that are supposed to be adults. We will see how things go with the information that we are able to receive and obtain from the reporters that are allowed to actually be in the courtroom, because this trial involves a lot of minors. Some of them are, of course, now over the age of 18, but a lot of them were minors when this incident actually took place, and that is how the court system here in Texas refers to them. Now, a lot of y'all did forget, even though I say it all the time, this was a case that was very close to me because I lived very close to the situation, and I actually ended up knowing multiple different coaches that were at the actual track meet. But it is what it is. I'm not going to give a prediction on this trial. I did go back and forth about if that was going to be best for me. I am pretty positive how it will turn out, but unfortunately, with all of the back and forth with the racism, it's just a burden that I'm not willing to deal with at this time. I'm going to let people be who they be. Honestly, that's the best thing for me. So, yeah, but we'll be back. So, jury selection has started for the Karmelo Anthony trial. They do anticipate at this current time that it'll probably be until Wednesday where they have a complete jury set, and that they will be able to get started with opening statements on Thursday. That is a tentative time frame, so it is possible that it can be less or more. I kind of personally think it may be more, but it does not sound like the judge is on a time crunch like you have to have, you know, a jury set by this time. So whatever time frame it takes for them to get a jury that they agree upon, it does seem like he is allowing for that time. Now, they do anticipate that the trial will last about 2 weeks once they actually get started. Now, if you are new to watching a trial or even trying to kind of keep up with a trial, jury selection starts first. That is when they done send off all those requests for them people to come in to see if they can be selected to be on the jury, and they go through and ask all of their questions to see if they believe that their juror is going to see their side of the situation, and they, you know, get to that doggone 12, which is a requirement. Okay, so they have to have the 12 people said. I'm not sure how many alternates they're going to do. Typically they do between 2 to 4 alternates. It depends on the situation. With this trial, I probably would assume they're going to go on the higher end of alternates just to be safe, because it is so much going on with this doggone trial. Okay, they have extra security inside and outside of the courthouse to make sure that everybody involved is safe and getting to every single destination they need to get to safely, because people is crazy, okay? They just crazy. I can't tell you nothing else. So we will go from there. Some of the news sources, of course, are going to have their reporters in there. I have not found one yet that said like one person specifically was going to be in there. So it does seem like all of them are just kind of have people alternating in and out. I don't know if that will help with the information coming out very unbiased, or if it won't. But I have a specific one that I used for my news, so I'm going to stick with them, of course. But I think that's all I have for you at this time, unless something real super duper duper interesting comes up today. It's probably my only video about, you know, kind of what the process is and things like that for today. Probably be back tomorrow, because they done wrapped things up and kind of gave a full scope of how, you know, day one went and how many people are set and things like that. They typically won't come out, you know, of course, until the end of the day, so it probably won't be a video about it until tomorrow. So I will see you then. I am Keisha. The channel name is Court with Keisha. A jury pool of 600 people is what I'm talking about. That is an absolutely great number to start with. So that was good to hear. Now, I know I said I wouldn't be back till tomorrow, but I had lied. I ain't mean to, though. But I didn't know how they was going to do things, so I didn't know how I was going to be able to come back. So I just said I'll be back tomorrow. But they actually did things in Keisha's order. I am Keisha, the channel name, to the courthouse. And so they were able to give multiple different perspectives. They even gave like timestamps and everything. So they did it very thoroughly, and it gave so that they can make sure everybody's kind of, so you can pick and choose what you really believe, because you're not there, okay? All right. So they did a good job with that. I love that. Appreciate it. Now, they said that they started like 4 hours kind of late, but the people that got there earlier said that they had supporters outside of the courthouse. I don't know why, because they can't see nobody, but anyway, they did say they was outside. They were outside behaving, so that is definitely good to hear. Now, they started with 600 people. They said they only got about 100 of those people eliminated, which is not a very good number, but they did say they had a questionnaire to fill out, and they did fill out the questionnaire, which took up a lot of time today. And they're going to, the attorneys and the judge and stuff are going to go through the ones that need to eliminate and try and get it down to 250 people. They will let those people know late Tuesday afternoonish evening that they need to come back on Wednesday if they need to come back, and the people that don't need to come back will be notified as well. They don't need to come back on Wednesday, but they expect to have 250 people on Wednesday that they are going to go through and do voir dire for and see if they can be, you know, selected. I don't know if I'm believing they're going to get through all 250 of them people, okay? Because they can mean they're going to have to be on a very, very strict program where they have to be, I'm not seeing 250 people in one day. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get through that many people. So we'll see if Thursday is giving opening statements. We'll see. Main part of the day, they did not get to see any of the jury people. They said that the judge is the only one that had a mic, so when people were answering questions, they really had a hard time hearing some of them because they were not. It wasn't a mic over there where they was at, pretty much. They said they could only see the judge and the bailiffs in the courtroom, so they are trying to make sure they're keeping it safe for everybody, which I absolutely appreciate. Regardless of how you feel about anybody and everybody on this case, you know, the jurors they don't have a dog in this fight. They should not have to be, you know, worried about being harassed and all that immature stuff. So they are working very hard to keep them safe, and I absolutely appreciate that. So that is definitely good to hear. They have the media and the public that is allowed in there, which is really like family and stuff like that, in their private. They have them separated off in a completely different room while they're in this, you know, jury selection process. Now, in the notes that I was able to read of people that win, it said that the some of the questions that the judge was asking was like, you know, despite our flaws, we're the greatest country. And they said some of the people were kind of like, no, not really. Like, you know, like, no, that ain't how we feeling about it. None of that. They even said, one man said, our country's history is long and complicated. So that gave that they was not in agreement with him. And then I did see a lady, a black lady that I've never seen on my timeline before, that says she was at the courthouse, and she said specifically that the men that were giving pushback were white men to the white judge. So it gave they not on the same alignment as him. So that was her perspective. And then the information that I read on people that were other reporters that were actually able to be in there, reading that and then seeing that video, it kind of seems like that's matching up. So I do think that is very interesting. Very much not expected for it to be them. Let's say that. They will get pushback like, our history is long and complicated, because it is long and complicated. So that is a very true statement. So that's very good to hear. So we will see what comes from that. Like, does that kind of tell us the tone of those 600 plus people, or does it not? It might not. Okay, so who knows? So I did think that was good to kind of get feedback on that when I'm reading through, seeing what they say happened, and then I find somebody randomly I've never seen before, and her perspective aligns with kind of the census of what they said in those reporting. That tells me a lot, and that was what my main fear was I going to get a perspective where I'm like, I need more than one perspective, and so I really did appreciate that today. Top tier. That is the update. I'll probably be back later tomorrow afternoon, because really they're gonna be going through stuff, and we're really not gonna get much of an update probably until later in the day. If they don't got down to them 250 people, but for real, they're gonna have to be bam, bam, bam. It does seem like he's on the energy, because he did say they're doing 9 to 6. Monday through Saturday, so they're going to have court on Saturday. They are trying to get it done in their 2-week time frame, which I've already advised y'all, but he has not decided if they're going to be sequestered, and baby, sequester them motherfuckers, okay? Wrap that on up, make the decision, and let them know now. Even though if I was Drew, I would cuss him out myself, being like, I gotta stay here with y'all. But I do think it's gonna be the only way to keep this one safe. I just don't trust people in this community. I'm sorry. I just don't. So I think for their safety and their concerns about their safety, it'll be best to keep them sequestered. Make sure they're not seeing anything, because that means they cannot do anything if they are going out and they're not being sequestered. And I don't trust it. This way, if they sequester, they can kind of make sure they're still being entertained, getting some enjoyment out of life, and not feeling like they got to be in some box. But safety first, and safety all the way around first, okay? So we'll see what happens tomorrow. That is a wrap on jury selection day 1.
Hey, you guys. Now we are back with an Austin and Karmelo saga. So, if you have not been following this saga, this is what happened last year. So, on April 2nd, 2025, there was a track meet at Kuakindle Stadium. While it was raining outside, Karmelo went under the Memorial High School tent. Austin approached Karmelo and told him to leave. Karmelo told Austin, "Touch me again and see what happens." So, um, so one witness said that Austin touched Karmelo, and another witness said that Austin grabbed Karmelo. Then after Austin did all what he did, Karmelo went in his bag and took out a knife, right? So he took out a knife and stabbed Austin in the chest one time, but I guess it went into his heart. And then after he stabbed Austin, he ran away. Austin grabbed his chest and told people to get help. Karmelo told the police, "I am not alleged. I did it. I stabbed him in self-defense. Is he okay?" Then he proceeded to ask the police officer, "Can I use this as self-defense?" Okay, so he turned himself in. So Austin was laid to rest 10 days after the stabbing. Karmelo was released from jail on a $250,000 bond. He was on house arrest. Okay, so In the month of June, the video was released. Within that same month, June 24th, 2025, Karmelo was indicted by a grand jury for murder. Okay? So now, uh, they're having his trial that's going on right now. It started Monday, June 1st. Carmelo is accused of killing Austin Metcalf. Jury selection began June 1st, Monday, and will continue Wednesday, June 3rd, at the Collin County Courthouse in McKinney, Texas. Opening statements will begin June 4th. Okay, now back in April, Judge Roach issued strict rules: no live streaming, no audio, and no video recording, and no cell phones in the courtroom. People are prohibited from reacting, gesturing, and wearing distracting clothing. So Carmelo's uh, defense team says that the stabbing was an act of self-defense. They will argue that Carmelo felt physically threatened after being grabbed and reacted in fear. So this case will be centered around who initiated contact first. That will be the focus of this case. And then prosecutors will argue that Carmelo brought a knife to a public event and used it as lethal force during a brief altercation. Legal experts say that the case will be based around Texas self defense law, which allows a person to use deadly force if they believe that they are in serious harm. Because Carmelo committed this murder when he was 17, Carmelo will not get the death penalty or life without parole because he was 17 years old. And you have people in the comments saying, oh, he needs to fry, justice for Austin Metcalf, he should get a life for life. Um, they were saying all horrible things in these comments, and then you have people saying justice for Karmelo Anthony. You know, the truth will prevail. One white guy said that thank God that the judge is white, so he's gonna give Carmelo life in prison. I, Lord, I can't with these people. Just because a judge is white does not mean that Carmelo's gonna get life in prison. That's not what it is. And he said if the judge was black, the judge will let Carmelo walk free. That doesn't mean anything just because a judge is black. He can still get time. What is this white man talking about? And this one lady, she wrote a whole dissertation about say Austin Metcalf's name, which you got for black folk. And so it was like a whole thing going on right now. And then you got a lot of people saying it's sad on both sides. Two people, committed this tragedy. A lot of people are saying that, well, Austin should have kept his hands to himself, which I agree with that. Nobody should be touching anybody, and I just think this is sad all around. I don't think this is the black versus white issue. I don't know why people are making it a black versus white. It's just ridiculous. One person touched another human being. It is what it is. And one human being killed another human being. That's how I see it. I don't see it black and white. But whatever y'all want to see it, that's how y'all going to see it. I'm going to say justice for Carmelo Anthony. I think he should get some time because, he did brandish he did have a weapon on him when Austin did not have a weapon. He should get some time for this. But, let's see. Let's see the outcome. In the comments below, tell me what you think about this case. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head.
Today's the second day of the Karmelo Anthony trial, and Karmelo Anthony was accused of fatally Austin Metcalf at a 2025 track meet. I read an article at the New York Post, and what they said, I think everybody else is thinking it too. Well, not everybody else. Why the jury might not buy Karmelo Anthony's self-defense claim in fatal of Austin Metcalf. According to a veteran attorney, he's saying that he's not going to get acquitted with the self-defense claim. He said that Anthony is going to be pressed really hard to prove that his life was in life-threatening danger. Randy Zealand has been an attorney for 38 years, and he has been a defense attorney and a prosecutor. He said you can't be justified in killing someone by sticking them in the chest with a if that person was not about to use the same deadly force. Now, they did bring up that Metcalf did put his hands on Anthony, but they said it was to merely shove him from underneath the team's tent. Now, there were rumors that there's witnesses that said that Metcalf punched him, but that still doesn't equate to the deadly force that Anthony used. And we will learn what actually happened when these witnesses take the stand. Before Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony did say, touch me and see what happens. At the slightest provocation, that should have not been his first reaction. And this is why I feel like the prosecutors are going to argue that somewhere in there, it was premeditated. And as far as my reading and understanding, premeditated don't mean it had to be planned months ahead. It could be in that very moment. Touch me and see what happens. That means if you touch me, I already know, I already planned in my head what I'm going to do to you. The veteran attorney of 38 years did say that Karmelo Anthony does have an ace in the hole, and that ace in the hole is his skin color. Zealand added that Anthony's defense tried to paint Austin Metcalf as some sort of white bully who was flagrantly assaulting Karmelo Anthony, who happens to be black. They said that the narrative turned into a culture war, and it even helped Karmelo Anthony raise $600,000 to pay for his attorney. And this is Dallas lawyer Mike Howard. Zealand further added that playing the racial dynamic shows the desperation of the case. So the jury selection does continue today. They call that the voir dire. Yesterday I said voir dire. VWARDEER. This is all I have for now. And if anything changes, I will give you the update. Like, comment, share, and follow for more.
The Karmelo Anthony trial starts this week. He is being charged with the first-degree unaliving of Austin Metcalf. This took place in Frisco, Texas at a track meet, and both of these guys were 17 at the time of this incident. Now, according to investigations and reports, it was raining that day. Karmelo went and sat under a team's tent. Austin approached him and told him that he needed to move. They then say that Karmelo reached his hand inside of his bag and warned Austin, touch me and see what happened. Austin then grabs Karmelo, and that's when the stabbing takes place. Now, they say that Karmelo also left the scene from where it happened, but he did go immediately to the police, and he admitted to everything and said that he was defending himself. Now, his defense team will be arguing self-defense in this case. Now, with this type of charge, if he is convicted of this, it is a possible life sentence. Now, I will be covering this every day. They do expect this trial to last about 2 weeks. Right now, they are currently doing jury selection. They are expected to do opening arguments on Thursday of this week. We will keep it cute on here. We will be respectful on here. If not, you will be blocked. Once I have more information regarding any of this, I will let you all know.
This case has been controversial from the very beginning, and opening statements are set to begin this Thursday. If you haven't been following this one, 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony is currently facing first-degree murder charges for the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. This is out of Texas. This happened at a high school track meet. An argument broke out under a team tent during a period of bad weather. Reportedly, Austin told Anthony to leave from under the tent. Anthony allegedly warned Austin, "Touch me and see what happens," and then pulls out a pocket knife and stabs Austin once in the chest, where he dies at the scene. Now, the prosecution intends to argue that the escalation to deadly force was entirely unjustified and that Austin was unarmed. The defense is building its case heavily on a self-defense argument. They assert that Austin grabbed Anthony first and that Anthony acted out of fear for his safety. From the beginning, this case has had rumors and people arguing online, rumors of race issues or bullying issues. I mean, the list goes on. The judge has enforced an incredibly strict environment surrounding the case due to the national attention and the intense social media debates online. Therefore, there is a gag order in place, and he is not allowing photography, video, audio recording, or live streaming from the courtroom. Even trial exhibits will not be made accessible to the public or media until the trial is completely finished. I will be covering this trial daily, so I will have updates for you.